In this video, I will show you my favorite gaming GPUs for late November 2022. Not only that, but I will also show you the CPU that I would pair this GPU with, and I will go through different budgets. You will have the links to all of these GPUs down below in the video description. And before starting, I wanna say that maybe when you're watching this video, GPU prices are a bit higher or a bit lower. I can't control that. For that reason, I wanna say that the market is changing every single day. That said, let's start. With the first one, we have the MSI Radeon RX 6600 going for $190 on Newegg. Now, I wanna say that you will see a bunch of AMD GPUs on this video, and for that reason, in the video description, you will have NVIDIA alternatives for every single GPU, and I will give you two alternatives instead of one. I will give you an NVIDIA GPU for the same price that it's usually worse for gaming, and then I will give you an NVIDIA GPU with the same performance as the AMD GPU, but that is going to be more expensive. However, this MSI RX 6600 is going to perform great at 1080p, so if you want an starting gaming desktop for around $500 to $600, I think that this one is the best GPU that you can get for the price. You can basically run every single title at 1080p without any issues, 60 plus FPS on average, ultra settings. Of course, it depends on the game, but most games will run like that, and for esports titles, you will be able to achieve 144 plus FPS in competitive settings, even in games like Fortnite, DX12 competitive settings. I recommend you pairing this GPU with the Ryzen 5 5500 going for $95 or the i3 12100F. You can of course go with the Ryzen 5 5600 if you feel like it, since you will get a better gaming experience, but if you're going to upgrade the CPU, you might as well want to upgrade the GPU, because the price difference between the CPUs is going to be similar to the price difference with the GPUs right now, with a GPU like the RX 6650 XT, which is the next one on the list, going for $230 after a $20 rebate card. And let me tell you that the performance difference that you get from the 6600 to the 6650 XT is huge for the price difference. You are paying around $30 extra and you're getting an 18% increase in gaming performance, and I think that that is insane value. If you're thinking of doing some 1440p gaming, nothing too crazy, then this GPU is the right one for you. And if you want to do high FPS 1080p gaming, this one will also be capable of doing that. So either you're going for a 1440p starting gaming PC or a 1080p high refresh rate one, I think that this one fits perfectly with the criteria. I would recommend you pairing this GPU with the Ryzen 5 5600, since it's the best price to performance CPU on the budget level in my opinion. But if you want to go with Intel, then I recommend you going with the i5 12400F for this particular GPU. You can of course go with the Ryzen 5 5500 or the i3 12100F if you want to save the maximum amount of money that you possibly can. With the next one, we have the RX 6700 XT going for $350 after the rebate card, so around $130 more expensive than the 6650 XT, and I highly recommend you this one over the last one if your monitor it's a 1440p resolution monitor. If you're just going for 1080p, then I think that it's not worth the price difference, and it's not as insane of a deal as the 6650 XT over the 6600, because here you're spending $130 extra for around a 12% faster GPU on average, and between the 6650 XT and the 6600 you're spending around $30 for an 18% increase. So that last deal is more insane value, but nonetheless, if you want to do 1440p gaming, the 6700 XT I think it should be the minimum GPU that you're aiming for, and it performs really similar to the 3060 Ti, and that one is a bit more expensive. That's why I highly recommend AMD GPUs over NVIDIA ones. With the next one, we finally have an NVIDIA GPU. We are talking about the RTX 3070 going for $450. This deal was $530 a couple of days ago, and I believe that by the time that you're watching this video, it's going to be back on $530, and at that price point I do not recommend you buying the 3070 for pure gaming. I recommend you buying the next one, but before going with the next one, I want to talk about this one. The 3070, it's a huge increase over the 6700 XT, being around 20 to 25% faster. So if you want a super high refresh rate 1440p monitor, the 3070 should be your GPU. The 3070 Ti on the other hand is not going to give you that huge of advantage. I believe that if you want to upgrade from the 3070, you want to go for the next one. But before going with the next one, I recommend you pairing this GPU either the 5600 or the 12400F if you want the best value. If for some reason you want a higher end CPU, I recommend you going with the 5700X or the 7600X, but that is going to cost you a bit more considering that you need to buy DDR5 memory and the platform overall is going to be a bit more expensive. But if you want something brand new that is going to last a lot of time into the future, then I think the 7600X is actually a good choice. Then I recommend you going with the RX 6800 XT from AMD, going for $515, but I have to say that this deal is going on and off the market, so maybe when you're watching this video you can't find it. I recommend you waiting a couple days before moving into another GPU, because I've seen this deal a lot in the market, so I believe that it's going to be on sale again if it's not on sale anymore when you're watching this video. The 6800 XT is going to give you a huge 21% increase over the 3070, and considering that the 3070 is only around $60 cheaper, I think that it's insane value as well. I know $60 is not a small number, but considering the performance increase, I think that is worth the price difference. Now, I want to say that the 6800 XT is for 4K gaming or 1440p ultra high refresh rate, but I'm talking about a 240Hz 1440p monitor. If you have a 165Hz 1440p one, even then it's going to be an overkill in my opinion. So unless you want a 240Hz 1440p monitor or a 4K one, I would recommend you stepping down a little bit and saving money. But if you really want to spend $500 on a GPU, then yes, go with the 6800 XT. And if you want an NVIDIA alternative, that is going to be the RTX 3080, but it's going to be much more expensive. You can once again pair it with the Ryzen 5 5600 if you want the best price to performance, but once again, if you want something better, I recommend you either the 7600X or the Ryzen 7 5800X 3D, or if you want to go with Intel, the i5 13600K. I absolutely love that CPU. With the next GPU, we have the RX 6900 XT, and I believe this is the max that you should spend on a GPU for gaming. You will have some bonus GPUs down below in the video description, like the 6950 XT or the RTX 4090 if you want the best of the best, but I do not recommend you going for those GPUs just for gaming, because I genuinely believe you won't ever need the power of those GPUs, and only some professionals too. But once again, if you want the best of the best, then sure, go for those, even though I recommend you waiting until December for the 7900 XTX to drop. That one seems to be the best price to performance option on the high end level, but we don't have enough information to confirm that yet. However, back to the 6900 XT, this is for 4K gaming. Do not get this GPU for 1440p gaming, and it's going to perform similar to the RTX 3080 Ti, just a bit slower for gaming. But to be honest, if you really need that extra performance, then go with the 6950 XT, not the 3080 Ti. The 3080 Ti is going for around $1200, which is a horrible price for that GPU. Even though I absolutely love it, definitely do not buy at that price point. But like I was saying, the 6900 XT is all that you're going to need for gaming at 4K. And honestly, for the price of $760, it's not even that bad. You can get a full all-around system for $1800, just like I put together on my Black Friday PC builds video that you will have in the top right of the screen, and I highly recommend you watching that video before Black Friday ends, because you have some crazy deals there. Back to what I was saying, you can get a system with the 13600K for the CPU, 2TB of SSD, 32GB of RAM, a great system not only for gaming but also for streaming and content creation for around $1800, which if you ask me, yes, it's a high price, but considering the market the last couple of years, it's not actually that bad. That said, I recommend you pairing it with once again the 7600X or the i5 13600K if you're talking about just gaming. If you want to do some heavy content creation, then you can go with the i7 13700K, but I think even for content creators the i5 will be enough, and it really depends on on your workloads. And if you're a content creator, then yes, I recommend you going with an NVIDIA GPU because the encoder is better and is well optimized for those programs, but you're going to be losing gaming performance for the same price. If you got value out of this video, leave a like and subscribe, but most importantly, hit that bell button so you get notified when I upload this type of content and also new deals. And like I said before, I recommend you watching the Black Friday videos because you can get some amazing deals for your type of needs. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for your support, and I will see you on the next one.